How Austin Russel Built Luminar. In the modern world of technology, many faces come forward to meet technological demands. From communication to transportation, everything is being evolved and replaced with technology nowadays. As much as we like to sit back and let machines do our work for us, we also look forward to the men who are earning a fortune by working in this field. Technology is like the new god, and everyone is preaching it. Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about Forbes-listed self-made billionaire Austin Russel and his journey on founding Luminar Technologies. Make sure you watch till the end so you don't miss anything. Without further ado, let's get started. Austin Russel is the genius who has put forward his blood and sweat into making something so fantastic and majestic that turned him into a billionaire at the age of 25. Austin Russel is an American entrepreneur and the Chief Executive Officer or CEO of Luminar Technologies. He became aware of his interests at a very young age and started working and practicing out his thoughts in his teens. Russel has the advantage of not being distracted by social media or wasting time on his college or high school education. Unlike most 25-year-olds, he doesn't have any Twitter or Instagram account or any social handles, but he admits that he learned most of what he knows about the world from Wikipedia and sci-pop videos on YouTube. Instead, at the age of 17, he founded a startup developing lidars for unmanned vehicles. 8 years later, his company is listed on the NASDAQ and is worth more than $3 billion. And Russel himself has become the youngest self-made billionaire in the world listed by Forbes. LiDAR was Russell's early passion because he believes the technology could save lives as part of both self-driving cars and advanced driving assistance systems that Volvo and other automakers plan to bring to the market in the next 2 to 3 years. In his youth, he was interested in how Velodyne and other companies made laser sensors, but decided to take a completely different approach in order to make the sensors cheap enough for widespread use. Austin Russel, with his improved LiDAR technology that allows cars to see farther distances and make the automobile's safe driving experience even more pleasurable, but most importantly, closer to reality. When you think about today's world, you will primarily relate it to technology. Countries are racing for innovation and technological development. Austin had great curiosity and fascination in the tech field since a very young age. At the age of 13, Russel managed to develop an invention that could collect water from sprinklers to reduce wastewater. He also spent his high school years in Beckman Laser. Later on, the prodigy got admitted into Stanford to study physics, but he just didn't have much interest in completing his studies. Instead, he considered dropping out, which he did after receiving $100,000 from the Thiel Fellowship. Austin's vision started to take a new shape, and the idea that would revolutionize the future of self-driving cars began to come into reality. How? Simply because what Luminar is now was an idea that Mr. Russel developed when he was only 17 years old. At 17, Russel realized that the concept of self-driving cars is no longer a sci-fi myth. When Russel was 14, he started to experiment with the light detection and ranging technology, in other words, the LiDAR. He knew that using lasers to calculate the distance of objects would surely help the self-driving car industry gain a massive advantage. LiDARs allow for the formation of a virtual 3D map while moving. This allows for detecting the environmental surroundings and the different obstacles that come in the way. But Russel noticed that something was missing. The time factor was dramatically low, and he knew that the improved LiDAR that he was to create needs to give more time to the self-driving car to react and avoid obstacles. Austin decided to take the LiDAR experiment a step further, and he considered using a different material while constructing the LiDARs. He knew that he had to change the silicon sensor of the LiDAR with one that is made of indium gallium arsenide. By changing the sensor type and making additional tweaks to the LiDAR, Russel created a LiDAR that uses a laser that emits light at the frequency of 1550 nanometers. In the LiDAR industry, that was a big deal since most LiDARs could only emit light at a frequency of 905 nanometers. And this was the point that Russel was aspiring to reach. He allowed for faster detection of objects, which allows for a quick reaction from the part of the self-driving car, resulting in a safer experience for the person driving the vehicle. Tesla CEO Elon Musk called LiDARs useless for autonomous cars. Damn stupid. I think 50 commercial partners and most of the major automakers we work with will disagree. Cameras and other systems are great for driving assistance, and drones need really powerful LiDAR. Despite being compared to Elon Musk, the two do not get along well. Russel literally goes by the name Elon Musk 2.0. Can you just imagine? Right after Elon's feedback, Russel came up with the idea of going cheaper to attract the average customer. He decided to make Luminar Technologies LiDAR's price cheap enough for the average customer to buy it and implement it. Instead of the $75,000 standard LiDAR was being sold in the market, he decided Luminar's LiDAR should be sold for $500. Additionally, Luminar Technologies' lidar is estimated to cover 10 times more territory and 50 times better resolution than standard lidar. When Russell turned 23, he founded the Luminar Technologies startup after keeping it a secret for 5 years to preserve the technology. Since day one, everyone knew that it would emerge as one of the leading companies in the lidar production industry. Why? Because it had what others did not. The company had Russell as its CEO. Luminar is now gaining momentum day after day. Although Luminar Technologies is still a new company that has just recently launched, it seems fair to note that the founder has possibly one of the brightest futures ever. When Russell turned 25, he became the world's youngest self-made billionaire after Luminar's listing on Nasdaq, with a net worth of $2.4 billion. Also, Russell believes that the company will keep growing to reach the market value of $150 billion by 2030. And although the technology has not been widely adopted, you should bear in mind that Russell's company raised more than $36 million. You can imagine by now how big it will turn once the product becomes widely used, especially since Luminar partnered with Toyota Research Institution, and Volvo was planning to incorporate lidar in its cars. The company also managed to have a decent workforce by employing more than 400 workers in 2018. Russell's success through Luminar is just the beginning, and the fact that he holds power to alter the future is an achievement in itself. It's hard to deny that Russell is one of those people that were born a genius. He has reached a particular level of intellect and knowledge, but he also represents the pure personification of anything is possible. In the near future, Luminar plans to accelerate the commercial growth of its more than 50 commercial partners, while further expanding its standalone software and ADAS proactive security solutions. Other companies that have gone public through SPAC include the controversial Nikola Corporation, DraftKings Incorporated, and Fisher Inc. Self-driving cars were just more sci-fi concepts a few years ago, and the fact that Russell could come up with an improved technology that would prevent road accidents by using a piece of tech that is part of the car is indeed something extraordinary. Our world is filled with geniuses, but when it comes to Austin Reed, he indeed has a lot under his sleeves, for his journey is still on the verge of the beginning. Austin is one of those individuals who taught us that there is no limit for the human mind and that the possibilities for innovation are limitless. What do you think? And that's all for today, guys. Enlighten us with your thoughts. Share them in the comments below. And don't forget to hit subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon for more amazing videos. And thank you for watching.